Hey guys, we are looking at pages 537 and 538 for today's math, and we're going to be looking at days, weeks, months, and years. I put up here 365 days in a year, 52.18, a little more than 52 weeks in a year, and 12 months in a year. That's how it's divided. Oh, well, it's telling you right here. Time, okay, well, this is dealing with time. There are 24 hours in one day. Maybe even break it down more. 365 days in a year. There are 24 hours in a day. There's 7 days in 1 week. You guys know that. There are about 4 weeks in a month. Sometimes it's about 4.5 to 5. And then there are 12 months in a year. Okay, and there are about 52 weeks in 1 year. So they're about 52. They left off the 0.818. Okay, so we're going to decide if there is more than or the same as. So our answers are going to be more than, less than, or the same as. So, for example, number 1, Christopher had a rock collection for 1 year. This is the same as 12 months, right? A year is the same as 12 months. Number 2, Mitch and his family were on vacation for 2 weeks. This is 7 days. Is that more than 7 days, 2 weeks? Is it less than 7 days, or is it the same? Well, how many days are in a week? 7. How many days would be in 2 weeks? 14. So 2 weeks is more than 7 days, right? So number 2, you're right, more than. They already have the is. 2 weeks is more than 7 days. Number 3, the train lasted for 36 hours. How is that to a day? How many hours are in a day? 24. So 36 is what? More than a day. More than 24 hours, right? More than a day. Okay, number 4. Judy stayed with her grandparents for 4 days. How does that compare with a week? Is 4 days more than, the same as, or less than a week? 4 days would be less than a week, right? Because there are 7 days. Do you hear my feet sticking? I've been spraying cleaner and it's getting all over my floor. Okay, let's take a look at page 538 at number 1. It is asking us to do the same thing. The map was on the classroom wall for 1 month. Is that more than 3 weeks, or less than or equal to 3 weeks? About how many weeks are in a month? About 4 weeks are in a month. So if it was up there, is it 1 month would be 4 weeks. 4 weeks is more than 3 weeks, right? So number 1 is more than. Because they're comparing it with 3 weeks. That's not your food. No, go. Sneaky dog. Number 2, Susan's little brother had a tricycle for 10 months. How does that compare to a year? 12 months in a year, so it would be less than a year, right? 10 months is 2 months less than a year. Number 3, no. Rachel and her family were camping for 8 days. Is that a week? 7 days in a week? 8 days would be more than a week. I've got a troublemaker right here on my floor. Sneaking around. Sneaking. You want to come say hi? Come here. Come say hi. Come here. Come here. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're so heavy. I am. Look at the children and say, I am sneaking my sister's food. Look at, she's embarrassed. She's ashamed of herself. Shame on you. Ooh, dog breath. Say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ooh, whoops. Okay, so number 4. Victor's father, excuse me. No, not your food. Okay, Victor's father baked a turkey for 6 hours. That was a big turkey, huh? Is that a day? 6 hours would be less than a day, right? Because how many hours are in a day? 24. You're right. 24 hours in a day. Okay, let's see how smart we are. Joanna, I know you are. I'm worried about me. Joanna lived on Maple Street for 1 year. Sarah lived on the same street for 14 months. Who lived on Maple Street for a greater amount of time? What is greater? 1 year or 14 months? 12 months in a year, 14 months. 14 months is greater, so the answer is Sarah. Sarah without an H. Number 6, Wesley was at camp for 3 weeks. Mark was at camp for 19 days. You got to think. Who was at camp for a greater amount of time? How many days are in a week? 7. Okay, so if you have 19 days, how many 7s is that? What's 7 plus 7? 14. Right? That's 2 weeks. He was in camp for 19 days. 14 plus 7 more would be 21. He wasn't at camp for 21 days. Wesley was at camp for 21 days. So Wesley was at camp for the longest amount of time. Wesley, actually that's the number 6, right? Okay, great. Next up tomorrow will be your chapter test. So what I would like to do is look at the practice, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take your chapter test by yourself. You can either do it today or wait till tomorrow. But what I'm going to do tomorrow is not go over the chapter test with you. I'm going to correct the chapter test with you since tomorrow's Friday. So let's go over your extra practice, even though I didn't put it up there. So can you get that ready? I've got to get something to wipe that. So go ahead and turn to page 539. It's just the very next page after what we were on, 539. And then tomorrow you will turn on the math video after you have completed the chapter test. You got that? So don't turn it on and say, okay, children, we are going to go over your chapter test for chapter 24. We won't be doing that. I'll be saying, okay guys, now that you're finished with your chapter 24 test, we're going to correct it together. That'll be the difference, okay? So take a look at number 1 for practice. If the hour hand is between the 6 and the 7, it's not to the 7 yet, what are you going to write in that box? You're going to write 6 is the hour. How many minutes? 45. The answer is 6:45. And then you write 45 minutes after 6 o'clock. So it's 6:45, 45 minutes after 6 o'clock. Okay, now look at number 2. It says it's 50 minutes after 12. Well, how do we write 50 minutes after 12 in the clock? We write 12:50. 50 minutes after 12 is 12:50. And then it says, minutes before the next hour. Well, what's the next hour going to be? 1. How many more minutes? 5, 10. So it's 10 minutes before 1 o'clock. Watch what they're asking you. Now that they're not asking you how many minutes after. They want to know how many minutes before the next hour. And for number 3, it asks you to write the time and then circle AM or PM. Okay, so you're playing at the park. Must be on a Saturday, or if it's at school, it would be recess time. And the hour hand is creeping toward the 11, so it still belongs to the 10, right? So it is 10, how many minutes? 45. Remember? O'clock. 15, 30, 45 o'clock. 15, 30, 45 o'clock, if you're counting the quarter hours. So it is 10:45. Would that be AM or PM? AM is before noon, PM is in the evening, so AM. Now you wake up at this time. Okay, the hour is 7, because it's not to the 8 yet. And how many minutes after 7? 15, 5, 10, 15 a.m. morning, right? It says about how long will it take, circle the better choice, to write your name. Do you think it would take a whole minute to write your name or less than a minute? Remember, a minute is 60 seconds. That's kind of a long time. So it would take less than a minute to write your name. And then you use the table to answer the questions. Ms. Hawkins' class will see both the seal feeding and the ocean movie. About how long will it take to see both? Now look at the seal. From 1 to 2 is how long? From 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. That would be 1 hour, okay, to see the seals. The ocean movie starts at 2, ends at 3. From 2 to 3 is another hour. So what would be your answer? 2 hours, right? 2 hours. From 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, that's only 1 trip around. From 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, that's only 1 trip around. From 3 o'clock to 4, that's only 1 trip around, okay? So just know that tomorrow, Friday, we are going to check your test, okay? Remember, the enrich is just if you want to. You don't have to do that. But we will check your test tomorrow. So make sure you got that done before you turn on math for Friday, day 5, okay? All right, I'll see you guys in a little while. Bye-bye.